Hi everybody, and thank you very much for joining us on a Saturday morning, coming to you live, well it is now unless you're watching later, from Pangar in Thailand. Pangar is a province. There's 76 plus one provinces in Thailand, and this is the one just north of Phuket, which of course is a very popular tourist island. Now today we're doing something a little bit different. We're getting the conversation driven by AI. A lot of people like interfacing with AI, some more than others. Some people hate it, think it's going to be the end of the world. It's going to do to conversation what, I don't know, disc CDs did to the music industry. Don't really think they affected it that much. But we are in this sort of digital world. Understanding AI is sort of important. So I thought I'd ask AI, what challenges does Thailand face after Songkran? Now, we have been in this really busy period from pretty much December all the way through to now. But let me tell you, when I look at my bookings after Songkran, it's just sort of fallen off the cliff. We've actually got a lot of bookings for high season next year. But speaking to a few other general managers around the area, they're saying, yeah, it's just gone really quiet. Now, Thailand officials were hoping that they'd be able to surpass the 40 million tourist number this year. I think that's highly unlikely. If you asked me a month ago, I thought, yeah, we're on course to exceeding the largest year for Thai tourism, which was back in 2019. But I just think there are too many headwinds now. Of course, things could change. Things could change tomorrow. We're in a very fast changing environment. Even I've changed what I'm doing here at the channel. I've sort of moved to more general topics and spending 10 to 15 minutes on a particular topic rather than doing the 10-minute roundup every day, which we used to do. It's impossible for me to do for those people who say, oh, Tim, we should go back to doing your daily news. I can't. It's just impossible. Well, I mean, nothing's impossible, but it's highly unlikely. I've got my mornings back and I'm enjoying that situation. And as it happens, since I stopped doing the daily news, I've gathered some 2,900 subscribers, and my numbers are, well, higher than they were when I was doing the daily news. Now, I think that's partly to do with the hot topics at the moment, but today we are going to be talking about the hot topics for Thailand, for expats and tourists. And I used the help of Chat GPT and DeepSeek, both which I use quite regularly. And when it comes to Chat GPT, it does have a wider range of services available to it, including making pictures and music and all sorts of things. I thought it was a little bit unkind when I asked it to make a photo of me standing on Thailand Beach. You may have noticed I've recently gone to using a lot of AI in the creation of my thumbnails. That's partly because I'm trying to get a thumbnail that depicts what we're trying to talk about. So in the discussion in yesterday's video, it was about Thailand doing deals with the United States over trade. So I asked it to make a depiction of the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Thailand in a poker game, because that's the way I sort of saw it. It's going to be a bit like who's going to blink first. So AI is able to make that. There is no such photo of the President of the United States and the Thai PM playing poker. So AI can make one. And I have to say, it can do it very, very well. But it wasn't quite so kind to me when I said do a depiction of Tim standing on Thailand Beach. I don't even know who that is. And for heaven's sake, look at those wrinkles. My God. So just a gross exaggeration by ChatGPT there. So I said, well, can you just sort of tone down the smile a little bit? And I said, oh, okay, no worries. So they toned down the smile a bit. And I think I look a bit like one of the turtles on Thailand Beach. So there you go. Thank you very, very very much to Chat GPT. But we are talking about the hot topics, and before I've actually put a reminder on here, I need to remind you that in less than 2 weeks we start the TDAC, the Thailand Digital Arrival Card. Now, it is all online. They're using the word card, I think, improperly, but it's a digital arrival system where they're going to be gathering information from you before you go to immigration in Thailand. Hopefully in the 3 days before you arrive, but if you aren't able to complete it for whatever reason, you can do it once you arrive in Thailand. There will be the free Wi-Fi at any of the Thai airports. I actually find it quite good quality, and I imagine they're going to have kiosks, and in the first couple of weeks they're probably going to have people to hold your hand and guide you through the new TDAC. But then again, I might be imagining the quality of service is going to be higher than it will actually be, but we can only hope. But the TDAC is in force for all foreigners. There are very, 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 very few exceptions. So people saying, they keep on sending me articles, even though I've done 3 videos on this, they keep on sending me, not articles, but comments saying, oh, but I've got an annual visa. All foreigners. Oh, no, but I'm going to go to Laos for 1 day and come back into Thailand. All foreigners, whether you're landing by land, air or sea, it is going to apply to you. Now, if you're coming to Thailand, you're going through any of the airports somewhere else. So you're flying into Phuket and then getting onto another aircraft to fly to Dubai. Then you're in transit, so you don't have to do a TDAC. Unless you're actually going through immigration in Thailand, you don't have to do a TDAC. But most people will be. If you fly into Phuket and you're catching a flight to Udon Thani, well, then you'll actually have to go through immigration at Phuket before going to the domestic airport and catching your next aircraft. So if you are in transit and about to get onto another international flight, you won't have to do it. Otherwise, all foreigners. So I don't know which part of all foreigners people don't seem to understand. So we're just reminded here, starting the 1st of May, the launch of the Thailand Digital Arrival Card will replace the paper TM6 form, making travel to Thailand even more convenient. Just note that this has been written by the Public Relations Department in Thailand, and they say it's an important step in attracting more international tourists in the future. Well, that's a little bit of hyperbole as my coffee arrives. Thank you very much. Lovely. Cheers. So I'm not sure what you think about... some people say, oh, no one's going to come to Thailand now. And it's probably a little bit more intrusive. It does ask you a couple of health questions that it didn't in the past. And it will take you, 3 or 4 minutes to fill out before you come to Thailand. Is it going to stop people coming to Thailand? I think very few. Anybody who actually thinks, 3 minutes on the internet versus, a couple of really good weeks stay in Thailand or returning to the place I enjoy living in. It is an encumbrance, but I don't think it's going to deter many people. I don't think it's going... It may affect 0.1% of people coming to Thailand. Then again, you may disagree with me, and I'm very happy that you... I'm just trying to read the comments at the same time as I'm talking. I've only got one brain, and it struggles to talk, let alone try and read and think of something intelligent to say. So I do welcome your thoughts on this, and I'm just not sure whether any of you are going to be deterred coming to Thailand because of the new TDAC. Now, there are those people who think anything digital is bad. Oh, they're just collecting information and they're going to insert a chip into your brain and the world will come to an end. Well, that's not happening. But there are those people who just find anything digital a bit scary, and I get it. But I think it's a very small proportion of the public. I've got some friends coming to spend a couple of weeks with me. Old school friend and his lovely wife. Haven't seen them for 4 or 5 years. Went to school with him, and so yeah, we've known each other for a long time. We're both around 45 now. So it will be great to have them here. But I had to send them a message saying, hey, you're going to have to fill out this TDAC before you come. So we will get to your comments, because your comments are what drive the program. And I'll be looking forward to reading what you've said. Somebody said, I'm very surprised something or other. Tony Fossey, hi Tony. I'm surprised you thought that numbers would be down in your accommodation after Songkran. It's the low season, and where you live is not really known as a major tourist spot. Well, Tony, last year we had quite a busy, we were only just sort of 6 months open at the time, and I was wondering what the first wet season would be like. But we had, 50-60%, we were 50-60% booked for the whole of the low season. I think things will sort of pick up. There's a lot of indecision around at the moment. I think particularly people coming from the US, there's a bit of flux. The tourism to the US and tourism out of the US has dropped massively just in the last month. I'm not sure if that's going to continue, or whether people are just going to sort of get used to the chaos that's ensuing. Life does go on. Yes, the stock market will go up, it will go down, tariffs will change, they'll go up, they'll go down, but life will continue. The sun will come up the next day. I know there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of fairly hyperbolic media printed about all this. Of course, the media trying to get eyeballs on their stories, so that they can make a buck. But my feeling about the matter is that, life will go on. We don't really have much choice. So whatever's thrown at us, we'll work our way through it. Hopefully there'll be adults in the room to sort this out, and we will get on with things. But let's go to, thank you, Tony, for that. And I'll get to other people's thoughts on the matter. Oh, wow, a lot of people there. So good to have you with us on a Saturday morning. I've got my coffee. What do you have in your hand? Or maybe you shouldn't tell me. But, if you've got something stronger, tell us what you're enjoying. But we've got about an hour together here. Oh, that's good. I used to really enjoy a cup of tea in the morning, but I've sort of gravitated to coffee over the years. But I have in my mind that I might get back to tea one day. I think it's probably better for you. Well, I don't really know. But we'll get to your comments. Mike, SE Asia, thanks for what you do, Tim. And very happy to be here, and good to be amongst friends, even those people who disagree with me. I do appreciate your thoughts on different matters. I don't appreciate the insults, but I know I've thrown a few out over my time. I hope I'm a little bit more subtle. Okay, so let's go to what this one came from DeepSeek. And they're much the same, actually. I checked the lists against each other. So this comes from DeepSeek, and it asked the question, what are the 10 biggest challenges for expats in Thailand at the moment? Let's go through them together, one by one. What do I have to click? I have to click on that. Visa and immigration changes, recent crackdowns, new rules, like the digital nomad visa, or difficulties with extensions. So recent crackdowns, I'm going to sort of disagree with some of the things that are written here, but these are setting our topics up for the day. There have been crackdowns certainly on people overstaying visas. I mean, there have been thousands of people who've been living here for a long time without the correct visa. That crackdown as such has been going for the last 5 years. And I think it will continue. The Immigration Department are quite serious about their work, and if you think you're going to beat the system, especially when they've got so many CCTV cameras around these days. It's pretty hard to fly under the radar and avoid detection by the Immigration Department. It's their right to know who is living and staying in Thailand, and it's pretty much their right to know where you live because you are a foreigner in their country. So, if you want to come and visit Thailand, if you want to live here, you have to live by the rules. And that's no different in many countries. There are roundups of immigrants, illegal and otherwise, in other countries at the moment, and some more brutal than others. So I think we're living through a time where immigration is taken much more seriously by many countries, and we just need to be aware of the paperwork, the limitations, the rules, the guidelines, and be happy with those or go somewhere else. Now, a lot of people say, I can't come to Thailand anymore. They keep on changing the rules. Well, in the last year, the only change to visas, as far as I know, is that back in July last year, they gave 93 countries a 60-day visa waiver, up from 30 days, and 93 countries up from 57 at the time. So it was a massive opening of visa-free travel in Thailand. Now, there was talk at the start of the year that the government is actively looking to close down the either the number of countries or the length of time people could stay visa-free in Thailand. Now, that hasn't happened. I thought they might introduce it all on May the 1st along with the new TDAC, but I would have thought if they were going to do that on May the 1st as well as introduce the new a visa entry. It's not a visa entry system, it's an arrival card. It's an information entry system. I thought they might have done it on that day as well, but just nothing in the news, and I keep an eye on it, and I've asked my system to alert me if there's anything that comes up in the news with the words 30 or 60 days in it. So I don't really know when that's going to happen, but people arriving in the future have to face the probability that they're going to reduce the 60-day visa-free arrival back down to 30 days. And I think they may restrict a number of countries as well. So that's all going to be interesting. And of course, we did have the introduction of the DTV, the Digital Nomad Visa, a 5-year multiple entry visa. It sort of seems too good to be true. Some people are extending or getting into the second part of their first year, their first renewal, and having no problems. Other people are being refused and having to provide more information. So the DTV is a bit of a developing thing, but a really good visa for those people that want to stay for an extended amount of time. And it allows you to work in the country for an overseas company. Not for a Thai company, but the DTV does allow you to work as a digital nomad in Thailand, but working for an overseas company. It also allows you to come and study Muay Thai or study Thai cooking, but I'm not sure how you can maintain that particular visage for 5 years, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But other than the introduction of the DTV and the change of the visa exemption, opening it up to 93 countries, I don't really know if there's been that many changes. Difficulties with extensions. We're only still on number 1. Well, we're going to be here for a while. So some people are having more problems with extensions than they may have in the past. I've always said that as we move forward with technology, better skilled people in the immigration department, more people in the immigration offices, there tends to be a little bit more crossing the T's and dotting the I's than there were in the past. The idea of handing a paper bag under the bench doesn't seem to work quite as well as it used to. So I've been told. I use a visa agent, and I would say that if anybody either has trouble, I don't have any trouble with my visa extensions, but if you do, the visa agents are going to sort things out. This is their job. They do it day after day for thousands of customers. Yes, you have to pay for the pleasure, but for me, going to spend a day in Phuket standing in an immigration queue, I just don't have time. I'd personally rather be on the beach, and I'm happy to pay a professional to look after my visa. It works for me. It may not work for you. You may want to save the money and do it yourself. And of course you can. So we go to the second one, and we go to cost of living increases. After I do this one, I'll go to your comments and we'll sort of go backwards and forwards between these challenges for expats and tourists, post-Songkran, the list, and your comments. But when it comes to cost of living increases, what does it say? Rising rents, healthcare costs, and inflation affecting expat budgets. Rising rents. Well, certainly with a rise of tourists and a rise of expats, particularly from one country, and I note particularly in Phuket, I was having this conversation with some people yesterday, and thank you very much to those people that visited yesterday and appreciated the donation made to Daisy's food. Speaking of rising costs, stop eating so much, Daisy. She's looking up at me saying, what are you talking about? So, I think if you are in a tourist zone, the rents have been going up. In Phuket, in some locations, they've gone up to 3 times what they were during COVID. Well, obviously, that was a fairly low bar, and there was plenty of room for increase after that. But Phuket has been massively hit with rising rents. That's also affecting the Thais, a lot of them who are staff for the hotels and various services and tourist attractions on the tourist island, and so that's pushing up wages. It's a bit of a wheel going around. What are those things that the mice go on? It's one of those wheels. Trying to get the brain started on a Saturday morning. Healthcare costs. I haven't noticed a massive increase in healthcare costs. I, from time to time, go to the public hospitals here, sometimes with customers who may be ill or have got a cut or a scratch or a rash or something. Or I've got some annual visits to the Bangkok hospital in Phuket, get my eyes tested and a few other things. And I haven't really noticed a massive increase in the costs. I've noticed a lack of car parking at the Bangkok hospital in Phuket. Again, that place just so much busier than it used to be with the rising number of expats and tourists on the holiday island. And I'm sorry I keep referring to Phuket, but that's obviously a place I know well and I visit often, and I lived there for 12 years. But I'm pretty sure you could mirror these comments on things happening in Pattaya, Hua Hin, Chiang Mai and Bangkok. Tell me if I'm wrong. Inflation affecting expat budgets. There has been inflation. I think it has certainly slowed down a lot, and there hasn't been a lot of inflation I've noticed in costs over, say, the last 6 months. But with all the things happening at the moment, changes in the US stock market, the Thai baht against the US dollar. Can I just check that very quickly? It was going up and down like a yo-yo over the past week. Hang on, I've got to go. USD, THB. Here we go. No, didn't like that. We'll try that again. THB. Here we go. We'll just click. So this is looking at the last month, and back on this date, the 7th of April, the USD against the Thai baht fell fell about 1 or 2%. Just in that day, it's just starting to creep back. Let's go back at the last. That's the last day, 1 year. But you can see we're still sort of in that band in the middle of where the Thai baht's been against the USD. That's a 5-year chart there. But today, 33.3 Thai baht to the US dollar. So that in itself isn't really affecting inflation very much. The Thai baht sort of where it has been for the past 4 or 5 years. It does go up and down. So let's go to your comments now. And Hi, Tim. Thanks for what you do. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, Windy City. Hi, Gail. Nice to see you. And Daisy's favourite toy is just sitting at the front door, her little squid. Scott D, good evening from Chicago. I turned 52 today. Only 7 more weeks till retirement. You've done well, Scott. 52, you don't look a day over 70. So, what else we got? Tada Minbury says, handsome man. Yes. Looks like a cross between Yul Brynner and Telly Savalas. It's referring to the AI. I did think it was quite funny. Comment, you look like Jeff Bezos' brother. What about the 60-day visa? Barry's mother asks. Again, we haven't heard anything. So at the moment, if you arrive from any of those 93 countries, and anybody watching here, I would say probably comes from those 93 countries, you can still get a 60-day visa waiver stamped into your passport. Singapore and Malaysia has the same system, says Teddy Bear. This is referring to the TDAC, filling it online before arrival. Why the big fuss? Oh, look, I think a lot of people just like the drama. The TDAC is probably in a couple of years, it'll just become one of those things we know we need to do. When we go to Thailand, it takes us 3 or 4 minutes, and we just don't think twice about it. Something you can do on your phone. As I said, I'm pretty sure what's going to be happening with it is it will at some stage, and this is what they said in the early days when they were putting the system together, it will generate a QR code and you'll just be able to walk through automatic gates showing that QR code when you arrive in Thailand in the future. So you won't even have to eyeball an immigration officer and put up with their mood of the day. Tata Minbury, I love filling out forms. It's my favourite thing ever. Oh, I think you're being sarcastic. Douglas R says, comment, my parents just visited and flew through Manila. They were to fill out such an online form to transit. I think they didn't need to, but they did anyway. Well, yes, if you're in transit, you don't have to fill out these arrival forms because you're not arriving in the country. It's just vanished. So what else we got here? Jorgen D, travel insurance is a must-have. The one who cry over things is special. I wouldn't come to Thailand as a tourist if I didn't have travel insurance. It is, as Jorgen D says, an absolute must. If you're an expat living here, you can either take your chances with saving up some money and self-funding through the Thai public health system, or the private health system for that matter if you want, or I would certainly recommend that you have health insurance. Now, in 11 years, I've never claimed on my health insurance. It stayed much the same price. For all the small little things I might need to do, just a visit to the doctor for a rash or having a checkup at the Bangkok hospital, I never claim on my health insurance for those. I'm saving it for the time I need to be scraped off the road and trundled off to the nearest hospital and put back together again for the big things. So yes, if you are coming to Thailand as a tourist, I warmly recommend having travel insurance. Personally, I think you're foolish if you don't. And as an expat, if you don't have health insurance, you need to be mindful about being able to self-fund your way through the public health system, which is very good value, as we know, in Thailand, and generally very high quality. 30 days, then 60 days. Now hoteliers want 30 days again. Hopefully the government sees through self-interest. It's not really just hoteliers, it's all sorts of people. I think it's really come from the top, from officials who see these expats behaving badly. The problem with these scam centres, the online scam centres setting themselves up in Thailand, the people taking advantage of the opportunity for a long stay in Thailand. A situation probably gamed by a lot of people, especially from China. And I think they're looking to close down those sort of loopholes. And they've noted that some 95% of tourists stay for less than 2 weeks in Thailand. So most people won't even know the difference if they don't go back to 30 days. Tata, remember, if you flip a 6 vertically 180 degrees, it becomes a 9. Oh, Tata, you're just so clever. I'm just this far away from banning you because you're just filling the comment section up with rubbish. Hands row. People need to complain, that's all. The digital arrival is so convenient. Everyone will have 3 minutes to do it. It'll be saved for the next arrival, the better it is. I'm not sure if it works like that, if it saves your information. Maybe it does. I haven't had to use it yet. Obviously, it's not May the 1st. I have got a few ideas for some travel as we get into the low season, as my bookings have dropped off, which has been a nice breath of fresh air, to be honest. We get some maintenance done and stuff like that. I might just pop out of the country. I did so last year when I went to Kazakhstan. Had a wonderful week. I've got a bit of a plan for a trip. It may involve high-speed rail, and I hope that might happen in the next couple of months. We'll just have to see how we go. Hi from Immigration Canada, says Froggies and the Universe. What else have we got here? Professor Isa... with some tourists being put off Thailand, I think the government will keep the 60-day visa. Okay, Professor, in what way have tourists been put off Thailand? Because of the TDAC? Because of, I don't know, what is putting off tourists coming to Thailand? Be interested to hear you sort of extemporize on that. Yeah, maybe we'll just never hear any more about this changing the 60 days back to 30. It was the officials saying it publicly and in media conferences, yes, we are going to cut it down to 30 days. They didn't say when, and we haven't heard really anything over the past month. Maybe we'll never hear about it again. I just don't know. I suspect we might hear about it over the next week. That's just me speculating. Greetings from Orlando, Florida. Been there, North America. Your level-headed approach sprinkled with a touch of humour is a nice break from the zillions of mindless Thai-centric videos. Thank you very much, CC Tube 13. Shano Traveller, need more customers. Where does it end? Need more customers, where does it end? I don't understand the question. Rising rents and costs are a worldwide problem, says the professor. A treadmill. Thank you very much, Professor. It's a treadmill that the mouse run around. I was going to get one for my cats, but I'm pretty sure the treadmill would just be gathering dust. My cats just wouldn't go for it. A hamster wheel. That's good too. Jorgen D, no problem for... Jorgen. No problem for PHANG with increase in cost. I hate the word PHANG. I'm sorry, just one of those things. Compare if you stay in your home country. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Look, I've been back to Australia over the past 5 years twice, and I was shocked about how costs had risen there. And I'm pretty sure no matter the costs increase here in Thailand, of course they do, it's still a lot cheaper than the cost of living in my home country. I don't live in Thailand just because of the cheaper cost of living, but it is one of those nice side benefits. Heavy polluted air has put many tourists off coming to Thailand, says Kevin Cunningham. Maybe. I think that's been a problem, a highly publicised problem for the past 5 years. I'm not sure if that's a recent problem that would suddenly be stopping people from coming. I note that looking back over the 4 months, the bad air problem hasn't been less publicised and has been less bad this year. So the number of days where Chiang Mai's been, or Bangkok, been in the top 10 of the most air polluted cities has been much, much fewer than, say, last year. We've also had a much less hot season. last year, the hot season went for a couple of months and it was just relentless. And out here, everything just went brown. And the grass went brown. And I actually compared photos of this time versus last year. Last year, it was just brown grass, dry as a chip. This year, everything is green and all the trees have flourished. We haven't really had the complete brown off with a dry season. So I think all that's added to less problems with the air pollution, the stagnant air, the hot, windless days. So I'm not sure if the heavy polluted air has put tourists off. More so would be affecting Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai in northern Thailand, less so the southern islands, which aren't really affected by the air pollution. Lots of good reasons here not to live in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Hua Hin or Phuket. Good morning from Bahrain, says Khalid. Hello to you too. There are 5,000 baht single-room apartments everywhere in Thailand. No big deal. 5,000 baht single-room apartment. You can rent a room for maybe be pushing it at 5,000 baht for a room. But they're still there. There are plenty of them. But I think these days you might be moving a bit further out from a city centre to find them and find good quality 5,000 baht single room apartments. If you're coming to Thailand just to try and get the very cheapest living you possibly can, I probably would be suggesting other countries these days. Thailand has become a little bit more expensive for the cheap seats. The cheap seats have become a little bit more expensive, certainly in the last 3 or 4 years. If you're looking for a race to the bottom and the cheapest place to live in the world, I could probably recommend some Central African countries that might be a lot cheaper. Now, Tim is much more handsome than Jeff Bozo, says Khalid. Let's not get into this conversation. I find it frankly embarrassing. Chat GPT has humbled me today with its version. No issues with having a pre-arrival form, but dicking around with a visa is another matter, says the professor. Well, I suppose it's something you have to do once a year with an annual renewal, unless you've got an elite visa where the elite system does your 90-day reporting and you don't have to renew your visa every year. But the 5, 10 and 20-year elite Thailand visas are very expensive and beyond the pocket maybe of most of the people who view this. I guess I'm a fool, LOL, says GFAR. I didn't say that. Hello again, Tim. How's the weather? Lovely at the moment. We had a few wet days over the weekend, which was particularly wet. I think it was Monday. But the last 3 or 4 days have been lovely. Bright blue skies and white fluffy clouds. Although here we know the white fluffy clouds can be a bit darker and foreboding as the day goes by. Sidi, Malaysia gives 90 days and no issues or discussion. What's Thailand's problem? Look, again, this is all very well comparing different places. And I think we'll do a video about all the different Southeast Asian countries. But if you want to come to Thailand, if you want to enjoy Thailand, if you like Thai food, if you like Thai people, if you like what Thailand has to offer in the way of beaches, if you like what Thailand has got to offer in the way of nightlife, you want to come to Thailand, not Malaysia. Plenty of good things about Malaysia. I'll think of one in a moment. But for those people that want to come to Thailand, it doesn't really matter what the visa system is. People will find a way to get into the country. But thank you. I appreciate what you're saying. Dorothy Ruby Red Munchkin. Good morning from Tallahassee in Florida. I haven't been to Tallahassee. I'm counting the days till my flight brings me back to Thailand. How would you come to Thailand from Tallahassee in Florida? Would you... trying to think the capital of Florida. God, it's eluded me for the moment. Miami? No, it's not. I'm going to make myself look very, very foolish. But wherever you fly from, you'd fly to what, LA, and then LA to Korea or Japan or Hong Kong, and then another flight to Bangkok. This is really making me look stupid. Capital of Florida. Why can't I remember it? Tallahassee is the capital of Florida. Well, there you go. You learn something every day. I didn't know that. I know the capitals of most states in the United States. I've been to 18 of them over my years. I have friends and relatives in the US. I know the country pretty well. How many people in the US have been to 18 states? Tim, you got a clean car. Show us your EV, please. It's just out there. And it got washed yesterday. Oh, I've got to do that EV video. I don't have any excuses. I'm so sorry. I'll do it this week. I think I've said that before. Hello again, Tim. How is the weather? I think I've answered that. My main gripe is 30, then 60, then 30 again. Well, they haven't gone back to 30 yet. They went from 30 to 60. They haven't gone to 30 yet. It doesn't affect me, but I can see how it frustrates those who like to stay longer. But as they say, it's a very small proportion of the tourists coming to Thailand stay longer than 2 weeks. Now, if you're using the 60-day visa exemption plus an extension for 30 days, if you're using that as a bit of a standby for getting a proper annual visa, then okay, you're going to be upset. But the visa-free exemption is for tourists, not for people trying to stay in Thailand for a long time. Plenty of 500 baht accommodation in Pattaya per hour, not month, says Yaklama. How do you know? My lady friend and her daughter have a 5,000 baht aircon room in Pattaya. That's great. Well done to your lady friend. Yes, thanks Tata, who says Tallahassee. I don't even know where Tallahassee is. If you showed me a map of Florida, I can point to Miami. I can point to Melbourne, where I've been in Florida. I can point to, is it Cape Canaveral or Cape Kennedy? Anyway, I've been there. I've been to Orlando, but I haven't been to Tallahassee. Tata Minbury says, I hope it's not BYD. Oh, I'm not going to tell you that. Why? What's wrong with BYD? They're the most popular and biggest selling electric cars around the world. Nothing wrong with BYDs. I did have some test drives of BYDs before I made my final choice. You'll just have to wait and see. Does anybody think aren't eggs taste delicious? Okay, capital of Florida is apparently changing shortly to Mar-a-Lago. Membership will apply. So these things are said, by the way, in humour. Don't gang up on Yaklama. I thought that was quite funny. Tim got a Porsche Taycan. Let's get to some of these other things. We only got to number 2. We'll bang through these. Property ownership laws, challenges foreigners face buying or renting property. Leasehold versus freehold nominee structures. Certainly, that's an ongoing issue. It hasn't really changed for, well, as long as I can remember. But I think people just find the whole Thai real estate system a bit of a farrago. You can't technically own land as a foreigner in Thailand. That's the spirit of the law, even if you use a number of workarounds. For example, I have long leases on properties here in Thailand. That's one way that you can get use of a property for an extended time, but you can't technically own it. You can start a company with Thai nominees and the Thai company would own the land, but the government doesn't like you doing that, and technically it's illegal unless the land has got something to do with the company you've set up and the way it needs to operate. Anyway, I'm not going to get into details on that, but I would say, and I've said this for ages, because of the difficulties and the technicalities and the unwritten rules of property ownership here in Thailand, I would rent. Just rent. there is no need, really, there's no need for you to buy property in Thailand. If you want something for your kids for the future, buy something in your own country and take advantage of the rise in property prices there. If you're trying to buy property in Thailand, I find a lot of people have a world of problems down the track. More than you would think. Just my thoughts. Okay, moving on to the next one. Work permit, number 4, and business restrictions. Struggles with setting up companies, freelance work legality, or teaching permits. The old fallback for expats, younger expats especially, they come here to Thailand to teach, and they can live quite well here and teach in a Thai school, mostly teaching English. And it's a good stepping stone, whether they like living in Thailand. You're not going to become rich doing that, but a lot of people do pull it off and enjoy the experience. Setting up companies or working in Thailand, if you've got a company to sponsor you for work and a work permit and a B visa, all power to you. If you want to set up your own company to do that, you need the help of a qualified, reliable, and hopefully well-recommended Thai lawyer to set that up for you. Let's go on to the next one. Retirement in Thailand, pros and cons, best locations and financial requirements for retirement visas. We all pretty much know that. As far as the best place to retire in Thailand, it's really going to come down to what you're looking for, what you're familiar with, where you may already have friends. There are probably 6 or 7 key locations in Thailand where a lot of people like to retire. As a foreigner, you probably need to be near some sort of a decent hospital, especially if you're an older foreigner. That is probably going to mean that you're going to stay in or near one of the main tourist locations which have got English-speaking staff or speaking in a nationality or a language that is going to suit you. I noticed down at Bangkok Hospital in Phuket, they had 5 different people speaking 5 different languages to relate to different foreigners and expats from around the world. So they're taking the initiative to make sure they make it as easy as they can for people to give Bangkok Hospital their money. Pros and cons, again, a huge topic for another day. I might just bite the bullet and do why Thailand is the best place to retire, but there are plenty of other great places to retire. Again, I've had a look at places like Portugal, Panama. I want to be where it's warm. I don't really like winters anymore. So I'm going to be somewhere around the equator. For now, I'm very happy where I'm living. I'm very happy, settled, busy, occupied. I'm living on a beach. I'm very, very happy. But that's an interesting one. There are more people wanting to retire in the world than there have been in the past. The baby boomers are now getting old and looking to retire, and they understand that they don't have to retire in their home country. Many people find retiring in their home country too expensive, and the options are now available in other parts of the world. Thailand in many ways has made itself a bit more amenable to retirees, and in many ways it hasn't. So a lot of people complain about the problems of retiring in Thailand. They focus on those whilst perhaps avoiding some of the very obvious great advantages and opportunities you have by being a retiree here in the country. The fact that Thailand even lets you stay year to year, I think is a blessing in itself. Other countries make it easier with different visas. Ultimately, having money is going to make it easier for you to retire in any country, anywhere in the world. And when you have less money, less funds, there are fewer countries that are going to make it better or easier for you. Just for pensioners, for example, from around the world, some countries making it a little bit more difficult to export your pensions. And I know for like British pensioners, they're not getting their pensions are capped or something like that. There was a lot of kerfuffle about this last year. I sort of forgotten the entire story, but the pensions were capped and it's not going to be going up with the CPI in Britain anymore. With Australia, it's a bit of a turkey shoot whether you can export your pension or not. I've decided I'm going to self-fund my retirement here in Thailand. I'm not going to rely on the Australian pension. I don't want to be waking up at 3 a.m, wondering if a bean counter, a public servant in Australia, is going to get a big pen out and put a cross through my name. That would scare the hell out of me. So I'm quite happy being self-funded. Even though I paid into the Australian tax system in spades, let me tell you, for 30 or 40 years. Let's go through these very quickly. Healthcare and insurance, quality hospitals, expat health insurance options, medical tourism. I think I'm going to need a hospital after the program, as the coffee went down the wrong lane. I think healthcare in Thailand here is of an excellent quality generally. And there are plenty of good options, especially when you're in some of those tourist zones, with the Bangkok Hospital franchise operating in most of the big tourist areas. The public health system is welcoming to foreigners. You pay a little bit more than the locals, but I find generally the service is very good at the public hospitals. Yes, there are horror stories at hospitals anywhere in the world. Things don't always go well, but generally in my 14 years here in the country, I've had very good, reliable and outcomes. I've been happy with the outcomes here in Thailand. So if you are coming to Thailand as an expat, you can be fairly safe and secure that the hospital system here is both welcoming to foreigners and at a reasonable cost. And if you use the public health system here in Thailand, it's very, very cheap. Understanding that Thailand has universal healthcare for its own citizens. Getting down here. Cultural integration, language barriers, Thai etiquette, and common expat mistakes. Oh, well, we could make a whole mini-series about these. The language barrier is there. Some people find Thai easy to learn. I find it eternally difficult, but I keep on trying. But the language barrier is a thing. Cultural differences also, you just need to be aware that every day you live in Thailand is an opportunity to learn more about this rich and deeply cultural country. The more you stay here, the less you know. But I love it. And I'm very aware that Thai people just think differently than me, and it's up to me to work around their culture because they're not going to change because of me, and that's fine. But taxation and banking, new tax rules, overseas income tax, difficulties opening bank accounts, these have certainly become issues over the past year. There is a crackdown on bank accounts. It's all about the scam centres. But if you have a long-term visa, if you have a certificate of residency, if you have a lease, you won't have any trouble getting a bank account here in Thailand. If you do, a visa agent will be able to sort that out for you. As far as the tax rules are concerned, I'm not going to add anything to that whole argument. There's been much discussed about it. Everybody has an individual responsibility to find out their obligations to Thai taxation. There's no use giving you a black and white answer because there isn't one. Everybody has an individual obligation, responsibility, and nuanced financial setup, depending where your money is, depending on what money you've got coming into Thailand. Just many questions. You need to go to a reliable, hopefully recommended tax accountant or agent to sort out your taxation and your obligations here in Thailand. If you don't pay tax in Thailand for whatever reason, if you're trying to avoid paying tax, then don't be too surprised if you get a knock on the door one day. I don't think it will come from immigration, but I think the general collection of taxation for foreigners and especially Thais is something that the current government are trying to crack down on. Education for expat kids, international schools costs, local schools, homeschooling. International schools, there's plenty of them. They're not cheap, and the good ones are quite expensive. But there are plenty of international schools around the popular areas in Thailand. Hua Hin, Chiang Mai, Bangkok, Pattaya, Phuket. Phuket's opened 3 or 4 new international schools over the past 2 or 3 years. Just a booming business. If you want to open up a guaranteed winner in Phuket at the moment, open up an international school. And finally, safety and scams, common tourist expat scams, areas to avoid and police interactions. All those things are things that we're going to confront eventually. Scams are just becoming part of our life. The internet just gives scammers more opportunity to reach into our pockets, sometimes without us even knowing. So it's not just a Thai phenomenon, it's a worldwide phenomenon. Be careful of scams and scammers. Where are you from? A question you'll be asked often when you come as a tourist to Thailand. That's just the start of a conversation which is probably going to end up in your pockets being a little bit lighter than when you started the conversation. Police interactions, I've been very lucky to have generally very good police interactions, but you probably need to understand the role of police, how it works here in Thailand, and your situation as a foreigner. By the way, if you do have any trouble at all, the first number you should call are the tourist police, 1155, and always keep that number in your mind or in your phone, 1155. If you do have any problems, they'll come in many different languages and try and assist you as you wade through the misunderstandings that may happen with Thais or police here in Thailand. Okay, that's what DeepSeek thinks are some of the main hot button issues for expats here in Thailand, and we've covered most of them. Now we're going to spend the rest of our time going to your comments, and I'll just scroll back. Thank you very much to Daryl McGee. Much appreciated your ongoing support, Daryl, all the way from Melbourne, I think you're in. But Daryl's been with us, I think, every week, and hopefully you're enjoying relaxing for a few moments before you get into your Saturday afternoon. Avoid the touristy areas. Local areas are 30 to 50% cheaper. Well, absolutely. If you really want to cut your costs, get away from the tourist zones, get away from those places I just listed, and move up to Udon Whoop Whoop, and you will find life a lot cheaper. I suspect most people will find it a bit lonely, and they will perhaps find it lacking in the services that they're used to. But there is certainly a Thailand out there if people want to live like the locals, live like the Thais, live rural. You can do it very cheaply. I have found many people just aren't able to cope with that long term. Even here in Pangar, where we're only 20 minutes from Phuket, only an hour away from international hospitals and the hullabaloo of Phuket, but they find this too quiet for them as well. So, yeah, if you are going for that race to the bottom when it comes to costs, you can save yourself some money by living in rural Thailand. Just think a lot of people may not enjoy the experience long term. Certainly worth checking out, though. Repetitive issues and learn how to spell Thailand. Mark Shane, repetitive issues and learn how to spell Thailand. What did I do wrong? Did I spell Thailand wrong in my... Okay, I'll have to see what I've done wrong there. Thank you very much to Doug Vincent. Doug, thank you very much for your generosity. Greetings from Thunder Bay in Ontario, Canada. Enjoy the show, coffee or whatever for you and Steve. Thank you very much. That's very kind, Doug. And I will make sure I shout Steve a coffee. We'll be recording Grumpy Old Men today. Oh God, Saturday. I think we'll be recording. If you're watching, Steve, well, we'll do it tomorrow morning, okay? Thank you, Doug. Much appreciated. And Luis Rodriguez from Tallahassee in Florida. You may fly from Miami to Dubai to Bangkok. Okay, so you're going westwards. Great. I think a lot of people are actually doing it that way these days. The Middle East becoming a huge hub for some of the bigger airlines at lower fares, and I think sometimes better quality service. So yes, interesting. I had a great time in Miami back in 1983. I'm a bit of an Art Deco buff, and I was enjoying seeing some of the lovely Art Deco buildings. Pretty sure Miami's changed a bit since I was there. Nouveau Unlimited. Tim, you look like the lead singer of Crowded House. Don't dream it's over. Neil Finn? I don't look anything like Neil Finn. Neil Finn, a very handsome man. But no, well, I haven't seen Neil recently. I don't know, a Crowded House still doing their thing? Don't Dream It's Over, a great song, and I thoroughly enjoyed Crowded House about 30 years ago. What are they doing these days? The Wu-Tang Life. If the Thai government had their way, they want rich retirees and try to keep out the poor ones. Well, yeah, they do set the bar at 800,000 baht in your bank account each year. That's your financial obligation, and that's the bar that you need to jump over. So once you've done that, you can stay in Thailand for a year if you qualify as a retiree. So, yeah. Regarding Australia, 13 weeks to... So, okay, people talking... Scrolling back a bit here. Much better hospitals than in the UK. Look, I think generally the private hospitals in Thailand are... They're certainly world class. Not cheap, but world class. New Wave. Local areas of Thailand have a better quality of life than tourist areas. Easy life. Again, look, if you're sort of happy just chilling and enjoying a quiet life, then rural Thailand can certainly do that for you. There would be a greater need to learn the languages, and there are some things that you perhaps enjoyed in the West that you may not be able to get in rural areas of Thailand. But if you're prepared just to chill and wind down your days, then yeah, sure. Go and check it out for a couple of months before you rent something more permanent. David Johnson, Australian pension is stopped when you leave and ceased after 13 weeks outside the country. Those who receive already in Thailand are unaffected. Okay. Again, the whole issue of Australians and pensions is very, very complicated. And every single person is going to have... Again, there's no black and white answer. Every Australian is going to have a slightly different financial setup and a past with the Centrelink. So, yeah, I haven't even bothered to sit down. I'm not going to do it. I've done enough research to know that I just don't want to be beholden when I'm overseas and not able to really keep in contact with the person who's responsible for me living overseas. But there you go. Don't need to pay taxes in Thailand. There are so many loopholes. I'm not going to recommend that. If you have an obligation to pay taxes in Thailand, I suggest you do. Brett says, we're a family of 2 adults and 2 teens. We'll be taking a year of travels. We plan to call Thailand home base for 12 months. Is there anything we should bring from Australia that we can't get in Thailand? Cherry ripes. There you go. A leg of lamb. You can actually get good lamb here. It's exported to Thailand. I don't find it expensive at all. About the same cost as I used to pay back in Australia. Doesn't seem to be any tariffs. So I don't know. Is that Vegemite? I get Promite sent to me each year. Promite, my black goo of choice. I don't know. you will miss different things than I miss. Your kids will miss things that I don't miss. Probably their friends in the short term, but they'll make new friends here. And travel, I know Steve disagrees with me on this, but travel is the best education you can ever have. And having a year off and using Thailand as your base, you'll have a lot of fun, and so will your kids. And you can use Thailand, you stay in a place near any of the Bangkok airports or the Phuket airport, and you can fly just about anywhere in the world. I noticed Air France are starting flights direct from Phuket to Paris at the end of this year. And I was thinking, well, that might be nice, going to Paris for a week. I've got the Phuket airport 35 minutes from me here. So it's something I might think about. I've loved Paris when I visited there in the past, and maybe it was one of those places I'd like to go back again. If there's a direct flight, well, why not? Neil Finn is still very active songwriter, says Siadwell, with many musical cooperations in recent years. Nouveau Unlimited says greetings from Dallas in Texas. And says, good work, Aussie. Thank you very much. I've got relatives living in Texas, in Lubbock, Texas. I won't talk about Lubbock now. Plenty I could say. Thank you very much. CC Tube 13, thank you very, very much for your support. I enjoy the channel as well as Grumpy Old Men. Thank you very much. Daisy sent you an email into Huskies? Guess not. Chippy Whisk. I have no idea what you're talking about. Daisy sent you an email. I'll check my emails. Yeah, Daisy likes all dogs. She loves other dogs and all the people. She is just a bundle of joy. Zero aggression, just a very happy dog. And just a joy to have around. Okay, BPEBM. Fong from Albury in New South Wales. I love Albury. I love the Murray River, that whole district around there. Thanks for your hard work. Really enjoy your content. Can't wait to be there in September with my country bumpkin kids. They're going to have a blast. Albury is the border town. If you're driving from Melbourne to Sydney or Sydney to Melbourne, you'll most likely pass through Albury and Wodonga, which are the cities on either side of the Murray River, which is a large river, which is actually the border between New South Wales and Victoria. Spent many lovely times in those areas, most notably and with great memories on a houseboat a number of times along the Murray. I think that's one of those holidays I'd like to do again, just plodding along the Murray River in a houseboat. Had many happy memories. Malaysia has paradise islands, Perhentian, Rendang, with no hordes of undesirable pharangs or visa hurdles, says Sid City. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think Malaysia has many beautiful islands. Nothing like the number of islands that Thailand has. I've actually stayed quite a lot on one of them, Penang, which has got shit beaches, but I know Malaysia does have some islands with some beautiful beaches. Tioman Island comes to mind. I visited there. Rain season starts in May, says somebody from Thailand. Why did I name her Daisy? Well, we had this dog arrive on the sofa unexpected, and it was pretty clear after 5 minutes that she was going to be staying, and we were happy about that. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Do you want to come and say hello? Do you want to come and say hello to the people? You just want to listen to the dog barking? Okay. I had Dina and Dusty. So D's are a name starting with a D is good for a dog because it's got that hard consonant at the start. So it was going to start with a D. So initially she was going to be called Dax, but then within a couple of moments we realised that Dax was in fact a lady. So I had to come up with a lady's name, and we just thought of Daisy in about 3 seconds. And she's been Daisy ever since, and she keeps on looking at me saying, "Why are you calling out my name?" But Daisy's recovering very well from her surgery, and she's a lovely dog, and we're very happy to have her. Oh, by the way, I forgot, good God, it's Easter in the West. Happy Easter to everybody that celebrates Easter for either all the good Christian reasons or for just the reasons of having a great holiday. Some of those weeks spent upon the Murray River on a houseboat were spent during Easter, although in latter years I used to go down to my good friend's house down in Raymond Island in Gippsland, and we used to sort of potter around Raymond Island. But Easter, always a very popular holiday time during the year. I nearly forgot. Thanks for today. Good stream, says Jorgen D. Thank you very much, Jorgen, and thank you for your support. And Chippy Weisk, thank you very, very much. Happy Easter to you. Appreciate your support. Daisy was the most popular cat name in Australia last year. Hope she's not having an identity crisis. Oh, I know plenty of dog Daisies. But it's pretty easy with Dina, Dusty and Daisy. The other three of them who all seem to get along in some weird cat-dog way. Reasons to go to Thailand, a combination of rheumatism and romanticism in my case, says Alpha Bravo. Yes, the magic allure of Thailand. I don't think that's going to change for a lot of people. Rheumatism is something I suppose I will face as I get older, and certainly the warmer and more humid weather does help with a lot of people who suffer from rheumatism. And I'm not exactly sure what the current prognosis is for people with rheumatism, or what the current methods of controlling or managing rheumatism are. Something I'll have to investigate in the future. At the moment, I don't take any medicines on a regular basis. I have the odd Panadol and the odd hand antihistamine, but that's about it for me. I don't have to take any regular medicine, and let's hope that continues. 2 more, and then it's time to go. I've seen flights from San Francisco to Bangkok, says Double Z, for $320 one way. That would be US dollars, I assume. People always think it's more expensive than it is. Just book well in advance and avoid peak times of the year. If you're searching for the cheapest fare, you will find them. But if you want to go on a particular date at a particular time with particular connections, then you're probably going to pay more for that advantage. But you are absolutely right. There are still bargains to be had. If you want to come around the Christmas period or the Easter period or during Songkran or during Golden Week, which I think is in October, airfares are going to be more expensive into Thailand. Cheaper fares can be found, but you just need to have a little bit more flexibility. But thank you for reminding us of that Double Z. And just one more. Life in rural and teach Thais to do high-tech farming. You will get respect, says AJ. Okay. Been stopped many times for driver license check, says the professor. Police have always been polite and sent me on my way after I show an international license. This one just jumped out. Mr. Ben's World. Hi, Mr. Ben's World. My main challenge living in rural Pangar, I wouldn't call where I am rural Pangar. I'm in sort of beachside Pangar. It's easy to get overwhelmed with isolation. The nearest town is a 25 or 30 minute drive. A tiny store is 15 minutes away, but it's very peaceful. So if you are seeking the peace, there are a lot of beautiful areas of Thailand where you'll be able to live very cheaply. But make sure you keep on top of your visas. Don't miss those dates for your reporting. Hopefully you've got decent internet. Thailand is well served with cheap, reliable internet, which I'm eternally grateful for because I use it quite often. And with that, I thank you all very, very much for sticking around and enjoying a coffee or something stronger with me for the past hour and a quarter. And we've just gone through 10 of the top challenges for expats here in Thailand. as described by AI. So I think we went through quite a lot of different issues. Okay, James. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the past month. It's been amazing. 2,900 new subscribers. I'm fine-tuning sort of what I'm doing with the news, not on a daily basis, but when big stories come up, I try and do them. Obviously, things like the TDAC and the tariff situation affecting Thailand have been big news items, so I've been trying to cover those. But there's plenty of other things. I'll try and do my new car this week, okay? I love it, by the way. I've had it now for 3 months, and I adore my new car, so I'll be very happy to show you around. Thanks for dropping in today. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.